Unless your name is Bessa Pluma, then the mullet with straight hair doesn't look good. Even whenever you put a hat on, look at that. You're looking like Bozo the Clown. Like, what is this? That's why in today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to do a perm to make this have more volume in the back, to make this actually be wings and not just be hanging over your ears like that. And this is with me already having a perm. The last time I got my hair permed was like about 3 months ago. So this is just a grow out from the last time. And you can see how my straight hair is starting to take over. And what you see at the very end, like these little pieces, that's what's left of that perm. So the things you're going to be needing for a perm is, of course, you're going to need the perm solution, the perm rods, the spray bottle, a comb or a red tail comb, whichever one you prefer. You're going to need a piece of cotton. And of course, you're going to need some perm rod papers. Something else you really have to keep in mind is how tight do you actually want your curls? Meaning, do you want them super curly and coily? Or do you want them to be more of a loose curl, kind of almost like a wave pattern? Depending on what kind of curl you want, it's going to determine what kind of rod size you're going to be using. For an example, if you use a bigger or fatter, so if you use a bigger or fatter perm rod, the curl is going to be a lot more wavier. It's not going to be super tight. But now if you go in with a smaller and thinner perm rod, then it's going to be super curly and super coily. So make sure you determine what curl pattern you want first. So now, of course, once you have that determined, the first step is to go ahead and clarify your hair. The main reason why this is so important is because you don't want any buildup on your hair, meaning all those oil, dirt, and grime. Make sure you completely get rid of it. That way you can have a better outcome with your perm solution. Now, what I am using right now is a hair cleansing cream by Redken, which is a clarifying shampoo, correct? And the thing with this one is that it is a little bit stronger, so it's gonna really make sure to get all the dirt and oil out of your hair. You know what, me as a barber, I'm always doing this kind of services to my clients. So it feels nice to be on the opposite side of this today. Like, I'm just getting pampered. Now, for anybody wondering if getting a perm on a regular basis is bad, I've been getting my perm done since 2019, and I've lost count on how many times I've permed my hair. And as long as you take care of it, you maintain it well, it will not cause hair loss. That's the biggest myth that I feel a lot of people have, is that they think that a perm will cause hair loss. Now, it can cause breakage, it can cause damage to your hair if you do it too many times or did it too often. Me, I typically wait about 2 to 3 months, preferably 3 months before I get it re-permed again. That way I can give my hair enough time to strengthen back up and the chemicals aren't going to be too harsh on it. But now if you don't take care of it and you don't use the right shampoos, then yeah, of course it's going to be causing a lot of buildup and it might cause hair loss on the road. But that's with anything. Even if you don't have a perm, you don't take well care of your hair, then that's all factors that plays into the hair loss, not just the chemical itself. So this part right here, how like she's folding up my hair right now, I don't usually do this. I just be giving my clients a towel and boom, but the way she's doing it, just got it down. I'm gonna start practicing this. To any of my clients watching this right now, I got you. Next time you come in, if I don't give you a towel looking like this, then you get a discount. No, not really, but. So me personally, I do wear a lot of hats. So my main goal with my perm today is to make it to where I have a lot more volume on the sides, to where whenever I put a hat on, you're gonna have all these curls curling out of the hat. So essentially what those are called are wings. So wings back here. Now, of course, I want the back to have more volume. So same thing, whenever I put a hat on, I want the curls to stick up and essentially make it look like a little shrub back here. And it doesn't just look super flat. Now the front part right here, we're about to do something way different. I hate how long this hair is. I hate how it overhangs the sides of my fade. So what we're gonna be doing is that we're gonna be sectioning all this hair right below the apex, all this hair in this area. We're gonna be cutting that super short. All the hair that's behind the ear, we're gonna keep that length and we're gonna make it to where I can have wings, but all the hair overlapping and falling down in front of my ear, all this hair is going to be cut super short. That way I don't have to worry about it just falling down over my fade. So essentially whenever I put a hat on, I don't have to worry about all this hair just going down and you not even being able to see my fade. Now it is going to be looking a little crazy and you can always switch it up however you want to, but that's the thing about my perms. They're super customized to how I like them and how I'm going to be wearing them. But doing perms can be pretty tricky. And I really recommend that you go to somebody to get them done and don't try to get your friend or anybody to do them because they can be easily messed up. Anytime that you're messing with chemicals, it's better to go to a professional versus just going to a friend. Now, if y'all just shaving your head bald, then cool, go with your friend. but you really got to make sure you know what you're doing on these. The main reason why I don't do perms is because of this part right here. Getting the rod or getting the hair to go around the rod and keeping a good amount of tension. Nothing too tight, just the right amount of tension. And putting the paper on the hair, folding it, and just rolling down and making sure the bands sit right and all that. That's not for me. I get so impatient. Because what you're going to notice here in a little bit is that right now we have, what, 3 or 4 rods in my hair? How many do we have?
4.
We have 4 rods in it. By the time this is over with, we're going to have maybe like 100 perm rods in my hair. So, yeah, I am not patient for that. I love the outcome and everything, but as far as me doing a perm, you're never going to see me doing it. Or should I? So if that's something you would be interested in me doing, go ahead and let me know in the comments, because it's actually been a while since I've done anybody's perm. Last time I did one was maybe 3 years ago, and it may have not turned out the best. But I'm going to find somebody to let me practice on them again if that's something you really want me to see. So go ahead and let me know. But anyways, okay, so we're making a little lead wave right now. And the way that we're doing these are that the rods on the side, they are being permed going backwards, meaning we rolled all these rods going back like this, right? Now these in the middle, those are rolled going more towards my face, meaning these are coming down this way and these are rolled this way. Again, by these going backwards and these coming forward, it's going to be able to counteract each other and give it that volume. The only ones we're using right now are gray, but we are getting ready to start mixing in some of the white ones and some of the pink ones, because you got to keep in mind whenever it comes to natural curls, they all have different curl patterns. So that's why we also like to mix in different perm rods. That way it can give the illusion that they're natural, even though well, you're watching the video right now, you know. But anyways, we got the back done. Now we got the top front part done. Notice how a lot of these are rolled in a spiral direction. The reason why I like these rolled in spiral, especially my bangs, is because I want them to look more natural. Because anytime you take the rods in the front and you roll them backwards, then it's going to be exposed in the forehead. And if you can't tell, I got a big forehead. That's why I'm going to keep them covered by doing a spiral perm in the front. That way it can lay down smoother, but it's also going to give it that volume to where everything has more of a square silhouette. Now the top up here, this is where we see a different direction again. So these on top were actually rolled forward as well to give it that volume. These on the side were rolled inwards because, again, I don't want none of the hair on the side to be overlapping my fade. So in order to help prevent that a little bit more, we rolled them inwards. That way I know for a fact they're not going to be falling over it and covering it up. Now the back, we did roll this going upwards, again to create that volume, because from the sides I don't want my hair to be flat. I want it to have a lot of volume to look poofy coming out of my hat. All right, so now it's time to apply the chemicals, and typically you would have to mix in the activator and the waving solution together, but on this perm that we got, it's actually different. This isn't a typical perm that we usually get. This one only has a waving lotion and the neutralizer. So whatever the case may be, this one only came with the waving lotion. So hopefully that does the same thing as whenever you mix in those two things together. Hopefully, well, I guess we'll find out. But yeah, so we're about to apply this all over the perm rods. And like I said, the main thing you can do whenever you get a perm is just follow the direction on the box. So what this is going to be doing is actually going to be breaking in the bonds within the hair. So typically what this does whenever you have an activator and a neutralizer is breaking down the bonds in the hair to really be able to reform it. So whatever your hair is right now, this is going to break that down, and it's going to allow us to reform it into something else. Now the one thing I will never be able to get used to on this is the smell. The smell definitely kicks in. So now we're going to allow this to sit on for what, 20 minutes? At 20 minutes, we got to let this sit on. And this little plastic cap, all that's really doing is that it's helping keep the heat within the hair. That way it can process a lot faster and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it stinks. All right, it's time to shampoo this thing out because this thing stinks. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention this. If you have a sensitive scalp, do not get a perm. And that's something that you and your barber or cosmetologist, whoever does your perm, should be able to do a proper consultation on you with first to determine if your scalp is healthy enough or strong enough to be able to get chemically treated hair. My scalp is pretty sensitive, but you know, we just toughing it through. Ah, that's cold. Yeah, she did that on purpose. And now we're making sure that we apply the neutralizer to each and every individual perm rod. You really want to ensure that everything is getting some neutralizer on it. Kind of like pouring ketchup on your fries. Unless you're the type of people that dips their fries into ketchup, then in that case, I don't know what to tell you. All of this is doing is really locking in a new form of your hair. This is what's going to give it that curl effect. Or if you don't apply it directly and efficiently, then your curls will not lock in. But make sure you save half an ounce. Don't apply the whole bottle, save half an ounce, because once we wait those 5 minutes and we rinse this out, we're going to take the rods out and we're going to apply the last little ounce to the rest of the hair to really make sure it locks in. But no, you want to be as gentle as possible whenever you're taking the rods out, because hair has already been through so much changes and it's been through a lot this past hour and a half. So be super gentle taking them out. And as she's taking them out, you can see how the curl is starting to form. It's already there. Ow, my scalp is sensitive. It's like such a satisfying feeling whenever you do take them out though. It's like your scalp just feels so much relieved. Now that we took the rods out, we're gonna go ahead and apply the rest of the neutralizer. And we're gonna let this sit in, or no? A few minutes? Yeah. All right, so we're gonna apply the rest and just let it sit for a few minutes. And then we'll go back and rinse out. Yo, that thing is perming right now. This thing came out super curly, but it's all good because now that I got the perm done, we're not still done completely, because now we're gonna go back in and actually cut it. As I mentioned, just by perming it right, a lot of the hair isn't overhanging anymore. A lot of the hair is actually out my fade and stuff. But here in a couple of weeks, in a few weeks, when it starts to growing out, with all this weight that I have, the perm or the hair naturally is going to start draping down, or drooping down, I should say. It's going to start drooping down onto the fade. So in order to prevent that, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this super short. So one day later, and this is what my perm is looking like right now. It is looking extremely frizzy. The main reason being is that I have not shampooed my hair yet. I have rinsed it out, but anytime you get a perm, you typically want to wait at least 24 hours before you apply any shampoo, because the shampoo can strip away some of the chemicals and it can loosen up the curls, and it can also make it more frizzy. Now, the moment that I began using shampoo and I began conditioning my hair and I began using the right products, then of course my hair is going to be a lot more moisturized and it's not going to look as frizzy. But I really do want you to notice how much of a Edgar cut I look like I have going on right now. My bangs are super short, which initially that's what I wanted. Because like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I didn't want my hair on top to be overlapping my fade on the sides. I wanted it to be tighter and I wanted it to be shorter to where whenever I put a hat on, none of the hair would cover up my fade. But enough on the top. There's one more thing, and it's kind of weird, because even though I have a mullet, I really do not like the way that mullets look, at least not on me. The only way that I like the mullet on me is whenever I put a hat on. Look, hold on, I'll just show you. All right, now with the hat on, it's really looking a lot different, right? Like, I know it sounds weird, and as I mentioned, but this is the only way that I like my mullet. But besides that, look at how much more volume we got coming out the hat now. Remember at the beginning of the video how this was just super flat? Now it's completely different. You can see how my wings are sticking out from the sides as well. Everything's looking puffier and just overall giving it a way better silhouette. Now, the only thing that I do wish I would have done differently is that I really wish that I would have went with a lower taper. Whenever I went to cut my hair, I actually did a high taper fade this time. Typically, whenever I do my mullets, I like to do a low to mid taper. That way, we create a nice transition from the sides into the back. Because right now, in my opinion, it's really just looking like I'm bald, then out of nowhere, I just got all this massive amount of hair. But as to where whenever I do a low to mid taper, as you can see in this picture, you can clearly see the fade at the bottom, and you can see the transition from the bottom into the back and into the top. And not to mention that C-cup in the very front is looking really nice, especially coming under the hat. But regardless, my main objective, again, was to be able to wear a hat without the hair drooping down on my sides. But now I don't have to worry about that. Everything is good. None of the hair has been covered up. None of the hair is covering up my fade except for my hat, which again, with me wearing a lot of hats, me doing a high taper makes no sense because most of the fade is covered up anyways. But it is what it is. Hair grows back and I'll be able to cut it at a low to mid taper next time. Same thing with the perm. If you happen not to like your perm whenever you get it done, all you simply have to do is go ahead and cut it all the way off, buzz it down, and just restart. Or you can always let it grow out to a certain length and begin trimming it down until the ends of your perm are completely out. And I really hope this tutorial helps you better understand how to explain to your barber or your cosmetologist on how you want your perm and how you want it to look. But if you haven't yet, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'm going to be posting a lot more longer form videos on here. And if you want more shorter form videos where I teach you how to cut hair, then I do post a lot on my TikTok, specifically my Instagram and my Facebook. So if you would like to go follow me on there, I'd really appreciate that as well. But anyways, me and my perm headed self will see you in the next video.